experienced personally to be unaccompanied minor. Before arriving in Europe, I have been in Pakistan, in Iran, in Turkey, in Greece, and then in Italy. So I did like many Afghan refugees, the same classical route for arriving in Europe. So thank you for your interest to attend this webinar. So I will explain you more in detail about Miniila application. So I would like to share my screen. Do you see my screen? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the brief agenda. So we will have now. I think we do not have enough time to give the space and the time to everyone to present him or herself. So we will skip this part, and then I will give you more information about the Miniila app and practical and digital way to help young newcomers. And then after, I will speak also about child participation, and then I will speak about uploading the services in the app, so how it works, what is the best way to include the services and information of organizations in the app. And then I will speak about when you meet young newcomers with whom you work, how you can, what is the best way to explain and speak about Miniila application. And then there will be the floor to Georgia and Helen, that they will speak about the impact study and recommendations. And then we have also here one of Afghan unaccompanied minor, Murtaza Hassani, that he will speak about his prospective view on Miniila app, and also about digital tools. And then there will be like question and answer session at the end. But feel free after every speakers, and if you have any questions, so feel free to add your questions in the chat. So why we have created a Miniila app? If you know very well that recently, also a couple of weeks ago, Lost in Europe, the collective of journalists based in Netherlands, they provided information about unaccompanied and foreign unaccompanied minors that they are missing in Europe in 27 countries. So since 2014, there are like around 50,000 migrant children that once they enter in the system, they have been missing, which is like a huge number. And unfortunately, in many cases, we know that when they arrive in first country in Europe, they don't want to stay there because the situation of reception centers, or maybe generally the situation of refugees and asylum seekers and migrants are not quite good, and their rights are not guaranteed. So they will continue their journey for some reasons, because they want to get reunified with their family members and friends and etc. So they move on, and they leave the reception centers. Another cause of because they go missing is because there is lack of information about their rights, about the system of the country that they are present currently. So for this reason, we wanted to that we understood that there are like these gaps and these problems, because the system is not somehow very helpful to uh, help unaccompanied minors, to make them, especially to inform them about their rights, to and especially because unfortunately there is not any relocation program for unaccompanied minors. So there is like some small programs on European level. So that is also the cause. And for this reason, when they become missing, we wanted to help them through their maybe the digital instrument that they have. Yeah, so it is like mobile phone, because many refugees, later we will listen to Murtaza too. So when they try to cross the borders and also to get information about the services and organizations, they they use their mobile phone, and also to be connected with their family members. So the mobile is really an important and crucial tool for them during the journey. So we decided to develop an application which obviously gives them information about their rights. So it is like Miniila is a smartphone application, very simple application, which is like not also, in order to download it, it is not very heavy, so 5 to 6 MBs, and then it is completely free. So people, unaccompanied minors, young newcomers, they can download it freely. So they do not need to pay for this, and it is dedicated for minors, so under 18 years old, and also for young adults till 24 years old. Yeah. And it is available in 8 countries, in France, in Italy, in Belgium, in UK, in Bulgaria, in Germany, in Sweden. And luckily, we are going to also extend it in Slovenia and Croatia. So we have already here organizations that will become our partner and will support the extension, yeah, in these 2 countries. And it is available in 5 languages. So it is in Farsi, in French, in English, in Arabic, and Tingling languages. We have decided to add these languages based on the number of unaccompanied minors that they are arriving. So many of them, majority of them, they speak basically these 5 languages. And luckily, we are trying to also add 2 more languages, which will be Urdu and also Pashto languages, because the next languages should be these languages, because unaccompanied minors, the majority of them, they speak these languages, and they have also some possibility on technically to add these languages. And it is available also on Google Play Store, so the people that they use Android operating system, and also on Apple App Store. So, and as I said, that so it is for unaccompanied minors and young adults. The aim is to somehow, when they arrive when they are in journey, when they arrive, for example, in Italy, and they know about the services, about the organizations that can help them, and also it's somehow yeah, because when if they do not have information, first of all, about their rights, about the system, that how the system can protect them, about also the child protection system, if they do not have information, then it is automatically somehow they can become a victim, and they become vulnerable. And so this is the main reason that give them information about the country, and secondly, to guide them to the nearest organizations that they provide services. So this somehow helps to avoid disappearance, because we know that many unaccompanied minors and refugees, when they arrive, they do not trust the authorities, because there are like some policies, or if we think about Dublin law, Dublin development. So, for example, if someone arrives in first country and he is identified and he has also taken his fingerprints, and when he moves to other country, then he will be sent back. So this kind of information somehow make less trustful unaccompanied minors towards authorities. Yeah, so for this reason, we in the app, we do not have included like public services, which is provided by governmental authorities. Yeah, because this may be somehow impact the use of Miniila app by unaccompanied minors, because if they see that this app is developed by authorities, by governments, so they may have also somehow concerns about being traced during their journey, and some of them also when they ask asylum, because many of these unaccompanied minors, when they arrive in Europe, they are like they are asylum seekers. So when they ask asylum, they need to speak about their story. So when they have concern about being traced and by authorities, it may be somehow create confusion and less trust yeah, towards authorities. So if we enter in the app, there are like three main functions that I would like highlight. So the most important is the categories. So when you enter in the app, you see the menu. After choosing your language, then you enter the main menu. In the main menu, we have different categories. So it is family, food, and clothes, health, Wi-Fi, shelter, and etc. So when you enter in this in one of these categories, then you will have information about maybe if you enter in family reunification, it gives you general information that what is family reunification, how you can join your family, this kind of information. And then after you can have information also about the organizations that can support the family reunification, and also yeah, related to that category. And then we have also another important function is My Place. So when you enter the My Place section, so for example, if the migrant minor is in Germany, so when he enters the My Place section, he will get information about Germany, about his rights, and then also about the protection for children, so he can get information on that regards, and also on asylum and human trafficking, sexual violence, and etc. So this information is related to that country. So My Place section specifically provides information about the specific country. And when the minor after Germany, if he moves in Sweden, when he go in My Place section, it automatically will give him information about Sweden. So on, if then he moves another country. So this is like really an important section that updates and gives specific information to young newcomers about their rights, and also about other information related that can be really crucial for his arrival. And then we have map. So it is also another important function. So when you enter in the app, in the map section, so it gives you, it has like a Google map and gives you information, and also the whole information about organizations. So for example, if I'm in Milan or in Rome, when I open my map, I can see how many organizations are close to me in Roman city. And then, for example, you can click on one of organization, and then it gives you information that how you can go there, how far you are now from that organization. So regarding Miniila application, in the development process, we had, it is very important for our organization to include the view of children about our projects. So specifically on Miniila application, we had different focus groups in reception centers in Belgium, in order to ask them that what do you think about such a digital tool? How we can make it like child friendly? How you think that what are the main information that should be included in this app, and also like some practical information that we by their help we got. So we asked them that how you can get information about the service. So uh, also when we have developed the app, later we in order to check it that it is somehow really child friendly, that it is somehow really helpful for young people. We ask them that, for example, if you need a specific service, how you want to get that information and how you want to reach to that organization. So we ask them to practically show us. So it was really crucial, and we learned a lot about about their view of, and also to include their view practically in the app, especially for young people, because if we develop some tool that which is from our view that especially we speak here about migrants and also from about young people, so it is really important that it attracts their attention and it becomes a tool that is based on their needs and on their perspective. So currently, Miniila application is we have more than 260 organizations around Europe that is they are onboarded in the app, and we have 500 services. So this process is still in development. So we are getting more organizations because our national coordinators in different countries, their app is available. So they are doing their best to make on board more organizations and also their services specifically for unaccompanied minors and young people. And then we have also more than 2,000 downloads now. And it is, the Miniila application is launched in April 2020. So in 1 year, we have, especially that it was launched during the heart of pandemic. So we needed to do some field visits where we wanted to meet young people and also to do visits in country of arrival, for example, in Greece, in Bulgaria. It was quite complicated and impossible. So we did all our dissemination and promotion activities on social media. So we had also some successful stories related to Miniila since it has been launched. So, for example, in Greece, there was a mother, a lone mother with 1 year's old daughter. So, thanks to Miniila, she got information about an organization in Greece, the Small of the Child, who is also our national coordinator in Greece. And then they were sleeping on the street, and they had nothing. They needed like really basic helps and supports, for example, clothes, food, and etc., especially for the baby. And thanks to Miniila, they got information, and then later they have been in a hotel, and then they have been helped to get accommodation in a reception center. And we have also some positive stories in Italy. There was a young unaccompanied minor that he had family members in USA. So he got information about the procedure and also the documents that he needed in order to start the procedure of family reunification in USA. So regarding, in order to, it is really important because if we have developed the app, and if there is not enough organizations and we do not have the support of organizations and their services, it becomes quite complicated. Obviously, later also Helen and Georgia speak about it. So we need more organizations, especially that they provide child-friendly services, it's important that they become part of Miniila. So they make available their organizations details and also their services. So more organizations we have, more Miniila can become a useful tool for unaccompanied minors, and also they also get more information about their protection. So in every country we have our national coordinators. So in Greece, in Italy, in Germany, in Bulgaria, France, Slovenia, in all these countries. So if there are like among your networks, organizations that you know directly, you can maybe spread information to them that you can include your services in the app. So it's really important that that organizations collaborate with each other. So thank you. This was the main information, only related to how you can make available your services in the app. So we have an online platform which is called CMS. So if an organization wants to become part of Miniila, that they want to make available their service, they can contact our national coordinator. So our national coordinator will give access to the organization by email, and then the organization will receive the registration link. After that, the organization will have complete access to CMS, and then can add information about the organization, the address, the opening hour, and also the specific services that are provided to young people. So if you have any if you have any question, and if your organization is interested to become part of Miniila, so you can contact our national coordinators. Obviously, after this webinar, we will send you more details about our national coordinators, and that you can contact directly, and then you can have access to CMS. Thank you.
Thank you, Said, for your part of the presentation. It was really interesting to hear about this really important application. And I can say that during your presentation, I have downloaded the app and saw how it works, and it's really interesting. I'm very happy, as I'm from Zagreb, that Croatia is also joining there. So I wrote it in the chat. If you have any kind of question, you can write it there, or you can raise hand. I can give you the rights for the microphone. You can, of course, do it in that way also. And if not, of course, we can continue with the presentation. Here is Helen.
Hi guys. Okay, so if you're happy for me to do so, I can share my screen and we'll get going.
Yes.
All right, 1 second. There we go. All right, hello everyone. So my name is Helen Morstart. I am a student at the University of East London, and I've been working on the Miniila impact study with my colleague Georgia Donner. She's going to start the presentation, so I'll give you the floor now, Georgia.
Yes, thank you very much, Helen. So what we have done is in this presentation is to try to give you an overview of this impact case study that we did as part of a partnership between the University of East London and the Master in Refugee Studies, where I teach, and Missing Children Europe. So the title is Navigating Digital Resources, Miniila for Young Migrants in Transit Across Europe. Next slide, Helen, please. So in terms of the context, we know that more than 18,000 young migrants went missing in Europe since 2018. This is not accidental. With the increase in official documented ways for migrants to access protection in Europe, more and more are crossing long distances. And this includes many unaccompanied minors, young people, and children with families. When they reach Europe, we know that they hope to achieve safety and protection, but often they encounter many challenges in doing this. And protection, as we know very well in this setting, is about access to the right to have a life to live, and therefore livelihood, but also the right to be unified with the family and the right to claim for asylum. So all of these are being kind of affected in the current context. And technologies are being increasingly used since COVID, but also before that, since the European crisis around refugees, as a way for migrants themselves, organizations, and states as well to work this kind of tension between surveillance and protection. So while we know that European states are using a whole range of digital tools as a form of surveillance against the crossing of migrants, many non-governmental organizations are beginning to use digital tools as a way of providing digital protection and support for refugees. And also migrants themselves, I should point out, are using their phone and other digital tools and the apps as a way of providing peer-to-peer protection, to access information, and also to support one another across the move in Europe. The Miniila app is a very interesting example of the ways in which the world we live in is being transformed, and how technology is going to be part of the ways in which organizations are working and migrants on the route can be protected and supported. So while this impact case study is about a specific app, it also has broader consequences for thinking about the ways forward in terms of digital social protection. Next slide, please. So our study of the ways in which the Miniila app works is a collaboration, as I said, between the Center for Migration, Refugees and Belonging, which I co-direct at the University of East London, and Missing Children Europe. And the terms of reference are quite straightforward. First, we were tasked to understand if, how, and when young migrants are using the Miniila app. And second, to understand the medium and long-term impacts of using the Miniila app for them, for the young migrants and their families, and also for the organizations that are involved in supporting this huge European exercise. And the study used a mixed method approach that involved a range of participants and a range of technique, which I'm just briefly describing in detail in the next slide, please, Helen. So the study, in a way, is a contained one. It started with an overview of, if you can go to the next slide, Helen, thank you. It used a mixed method approach, which involved an overview of policy documents of the Miniila app and communication to try and understand how these new technological tools are being used in the sector, and also involved talking to almost 50 young people and staff from Missing Children Europe and other partners who are involved in, again, this collaborative effort of providing support to migrants and young children and adults crossing Europe. So it comprised of 2 focus group discussions with young people in the UK and Sweden, semi-structured interviews with 4 key informants that were selected on the basis of their roles within Missing Children Europe, so coordination and dissemination, as well as their role as national coordinators in different countries with different roles. Also, we had interviews with 5 young migrants, again, from different countries, boys and girls, different ages, and a different place in their kind of migratory trajectory. One parent was present and participated in one interview. And then we had a meeting with the national coordinators just to have a conversation around the recommendations that Helen is going to summarize now at the end of the presentation. So we're now kind of giving you a snapshot of some of the findings, and the report is available, of course. So Helen, over to you for the interesting part of the findings.
Lovely, thank you. Thank you so much, Georgia. That was a really great introduction to the study. So I'm going to guide you through some of our key findings from the study. So we know that young migrants are using the app, not just from the conversations that we've had, but from the app data, which shows that people are downloading the app, but they're also using it, and it is being used on a daily basis, which is great. But we were kind of more interested in how people were using the app. And what we found is that it's being used differently at different points in the journey. So for young migrants who are in transit, they're using it in 2 main ways. One is about information gathering. So lots of participants highlighted that when you move to a new place, whether it's a country or a city, you don't know anything about that place, and there's quite a lot of information that you have to find quite quickly. So the app is being utilised to find out things like the geography of the place by using the map, the language, the currency, the culture. The second main way that people are using the app is when you arrive in a new place, whether that's a city or a country, it's about identifying services that can help you to meet your basic needs. So again, lots of participants highlighted that when you arrive in a new place, you need to find somewhere to eat, somewhere to sleep, maybe somewhere to have a shower or wash your clothes. Medical facilities was also quite important to a lot of people. So the app is actually supporting people to find these services so that when they arrive in a new place, they can meet their immediate needs. So young migrants who are settled, whether temporarily or permanently, are using it slightly differently. They're not using it for their immediate needs. They're using it to support slightly longer term needs. So, for example, people were looking for recreational activities like sports. One person was looking for piano lessons. So these are activities that promote positive well-being, that might promote integration, that might reduce loneliness or isolation. And another example is education. As you can imagine, for young migrants who may have missed significant amounts of schooling, education is quite important. So people are looking for additional support, whether it be in academic or in language, learning English, things like that. So people are using the app to find educational support. And somebody said that the app actually, what's really nice about it is it gives you more choices and it gives you more options, and you can look at those options for educational support and find something that's best suited for you. So that was really nice to hear. Again, medical support facilities are really important. So people are finding the app to find medical facilities and contact them directly. And then there are longer term processes. So like seeking asylum in the country you're in, or family reunification. So they are both quite long processes where young migrants really need reliable, clear information. So the fact that the app is able to provide that is really beneficial. And again, for young migrants who might be unaccompanied or who might be separated, family reunification is really important. So having a tool that can help you start that process and potentially support you through it is also really beneficial. So it was really positive to hear that people are still utilising the app even when they're settled. That was really great. And something else that was really positive is the feedback from the young migrants about what they think about the app. In general, it was overwhelmingly positive. They thought that the Miniila app is positive, useful, helpful, that it's simple, that it's easy to use. A phrase that came up a lot was that it's a tool that can help you solve your problems. So I thought that was really great. And we've got some quotes on here from some of the young people who were participated in the study that kind of demonstrate a bit better than I can why they like it. So I'll read them out. So it can help a lot of people who are in a new country. As refugees, when they enter a new country, they usually don't know the language of a country, and it's very difficult for them to get information about everything. So that was from Abed. And then Shirin, who's 15, she's in Greece, she says, when I saw this application and installed it, it is a very useful because there is information about clothes, about the doctor, about mental support, about food, these kinds of services. So we wanted to delve a little bit deeper and find out what exactly makes it so easy to use and why people like it so much. So as Saeed highlighted and demonstrated earlier, the app has several features which have been developed to make it user-friendly and child-friendly and easy to navigate. So when you enter on the homepage, all of the categories have symbols, so that it's easy to find the information that you're looking for. And that was something that was highlighted by several participants as particularly positive and made it easy to navigate. And once you go into a category and you find some information, most of the information is accompanied by an audio file, which you can access in the 5 languages, which you can listen to the information as well as read it. And people thought that was really helpful and that was really useful. Something that everybody was really happy and excited about was the fact that you could access the information in those 5 languages. So I've got a quote for you here from Hamid, who says, especially the language that you speak. When you enter and you choose your language, then you understand everything. Yeah, in your own language. It makes it very, very simple and easy. So people were really pleased about the ability to access the app in their first language. And finally, With an app like this, when you're trying to collate so much information, there is a worry that it might be overwhelming. But actually that isn't the case. And the participants in this study were really happy that there was so much content available. We asked them to prioritize the categories and what was most important. And most people came back and said, actually, it's all important. All the categories are relevant and all the categories are needed. So it's really good to know that the information provided on Miniila is relevant. And then I've got another quote here, which says, you know, in this application, you have a lot of information. There's a lot of information that you can find in different countries, which sums it up quite nicely. So there were a few things that people thought Miniila could do to improve the app. Something that came up a lot was about Wi-Fi. So Saeed did mention earlier that you can use the app to find free Wi-Fi spots in the country or city that you're in. And people were really utilizing that part of the app, but they thought it would also be useful if the app had offline capabilities. So if you're able to use it and search and find things without having Wi-Fi. Also, they thought the app could have more languages. They were happy about the amount of languages it had, but they thought there could always be more. The only one that came up consistently was Pashto. And finally, people were really happy that there were so many categories, but it was noted that some categories in some countries didn't have as much information as others. And it sort of highlighted that Miniila should prioritise filling those gaps and making sure that every category, it's a big task, but making sure that every category and every country has like a sufficient amount of information in it. So now we're going to talk about the impact. I'm going to tell you about the short term, and I'll just touch upon the longer term because it's much easier at this point to identify the short term impacts, because as Saeed told us earlier, the app hasn't actually been launched for that long. But there are already some really clear positive impacts for young migrants using this app. So firstly, quite a few people said that using the app makes your journey easier. And because your journey is easier, you're happier. So sort of increased positive well-being, which is really great to hear. People who are using the app in general feel more confident, more informed, more able to make decisions, more independent. They have an increased access to information and increased options. And it also means that they can verify and double check information, which is really key, because it means they're not completely reliant on information they get from other people. And it means they're sort of less open to exploitation, because they can try and double check or cross check information on the app. So for example, if they arrive in a new country and they know that they have somewhere where they can get shelter and they know the way there, and they know, okay, so I can take this train and then I can walk there, they're less likely to have to ask a stranger, or they're less likely to have to rely on the information of other people, especially if people are approaching them. They can double check the information, or they already have the route, which is great. So something else which is key is about those basic needs I talked about at the beginning. If people are able to find shelter, they're less likely to sleep outside in a park or in the street, which means they're, again, less open to exploitation, less vulnerable. If people are able to find food, then they're, again, less vulnerable. Yeah, so they're sort of protected, more protected, not only from the elements if they were sleeping outside, but also they're inside. If they've found shelter, they're inside, and they've got connections to the people who work there. They can find more services. So there are some really good short-term impacts from using the app. And I've got some quotes here as well, which I'll read to you. Bear with me one second. So Faisal says, it will give you confidence, self-confidence, because you're sure that even if you go in a wrong way, then there is a way to go back from where you left. And Sharif says, by this application, I can go and search something that can help me solve my problems. So I think they sum it up quite nicely. So moving on, oh, bear with me one second. Don't know why it's not working, sorry. There. There we go. Sorry about that. So the medium to long term is harder to tell because the app hasn't been launched for that long, but there are some really positive potential impacts from the app. So talked earlier about people having more choices and more options. So by that, they have more opportunities and potentially more control over their lives. They might have more opportunities to get involved in those activities that promote positive well-being, that support them during education, that reduce isolation and promote long-term integration. And hopefully those things would have a long-term positive impact on them. Again, lots of people talked about having an easier journey and a happier journey. And if they had a happier journey, they would have a more positive experience of migration and more positive memories. So the hope would be that people can use this app, they can find services, they can feel safe, they have a less stressful, less traumatic journey, which would obviously have long-term positive impacts. And there's a quote here from Shirin, who was the mother of one of the young migrants we interviewed, and she says, it would have had a great impact on their journey. It would have changed their experience in a very positive way, and they would have a very positive memory of the journey. So something else is that we talked about those longer term processes like seeking asylum and like family reunification. So having the app and having a tool that can support you through those processes might make it less stressful, easier, might make it quicker. It might give you more chance of having a positive outcome, and those things in turn will have hopefully a positive long-term impact. And in general, the information that people can get from the app about the place that they're in and about the systems in that country, in the national processes, they will help to have a long-term impact on those people understanding the national processes of the place they're in. So just by connecting with organisations through the app, they are being better connected with more services, there's more opportunities, there's more chances, but there's also more chance for them to learn about those national processes. And then we do have a nice quote here, which is from our very own Saeed, who explains it much better than I do, who says, if they get information that they trust and they reach the organisation, it completely changes their experience and has a great impact on their well-being, because in that case, you have a place to say freely. You can ask some information about legal stuff and how to be connected with other services. So I think that kind of sums it up quite nicely. Sorry, there we go. Okay, lovely. So I'm nearly finished, and this is the last slide, and I really want you to, if you take anything away from my part of the presentation, please take this bit away. So the app is not self-sufficient. It needs a human element. It needs people to talk about it. It needs people to use it, and it needs people to upload their services. So my kind of call to action at the end of this presentation is, if you work with young migrants, if you know young migrants, maybe you teach English, maybe you run a service, maybe you work for an organisation, speak to them about the Miniila app. Speak to Saeed, see if you can get some promotional materials, or go on the website or download the app yourself. If you can, maybe sit with them and go through the app. But the key message is, speak to the young migrants you work with about the app so that they can utilise it. If you work for an organisation that has services that could be on the app and you can take referrals, then please go on the website, register to become an uploading organisation. It doesn't take a lot of time. You just need to dedicate a little bit of time every few months to make sure that your information is up to date. But the key message from the young people really is that the more information is on the app, the more people will use it. And the more people that use it, the better it will be. So yeah, that's everything from me. Thank you so much for listening to me and giving me your time. And just a massive thank you to Saeed and Missing Children Europe for giving me the opportunity to work on this project. There is a link which I think will be in the chat if you want to read the report. And if you want to contact me with any questions or queries, feel free. But yeah, that's everything from me, unless you'd like to add anything, Georgia.
No, I think you've captured everything. Thank you so much.
I'm going to stop sharing now then. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Georgia and Helen. It was really interesting. As I see, Saeed has also open the video. I will just, of course, ask if there is any kind of questions or comments. For me, it was very inspirational to hear about your report and these quotes from the young people. I think it are really, really important to hear. And this, I felt all the time how important this providing quick and adequate information is connected very much to well-being and safety. So I think it's great written. Thank you so much. Okay, we are having from Denica, we are having a question. Hello, thank you for organizing this important webinar. Speaking of cooperation to upload services on the app, is it possible for a state authority to become part of it, or it is only meant to be a non-state organization?
Yeah, on this I can answer. So as I spoke before related to the trust of unaccompanied minors on authorities. So we have decided in order, because it also came out through the focus groups that we held in before developing the app. So they have concern that some services that are provided by authorities they do not trust, and they will not try to reach. They only when they decide to stay in a country, then they will somehow contact like governmental organizations and services. So for this reason we decided in order to protect their rights and also to answer to their concern, we decided to not include the authorities and their services in the app. Otherwise then they will not download the app because they're concerned that they may be traced by the app.
Thank you, Said, for your answer.
I don't know if there is any other question. Otherwise, I have a couple of more points to speak about. So okay, I can go then. One is regarding the coronavirus situation. So we know that it had a huge impact. So it's still on our life, it is still going on. So it is even worse for migrant communities, especially the people that they are in journey. So for this reason, in order to give information about this pandemic and also guide young people to the services that can be for health and also for other services related to coronavirus, we have created a specific category in the main menu on coronavirus. So it is really important to give information to young people that what is going on, how you can get information, how you can contact organizations that they provide services on this pandemic. And especially that now it is there is vaccination. So we somehow through our through organizations that they provide information on health and etc. They can include also information on vaccination in the Miniila app. So this is one point. And related to when you meet young people, it is really important that first of all you explain about Miniila app on his own language. So if there is any translator, or even better if there is any cultural mediator that knows about the culture, the origin of young newcomer, it is really helpful to give him information, and it creates also trust, and the person that receives information will trust that there's information. So it is important to explain about Miniila app, its existence, its services, all features in the presence of someone that knows the language of young newcomer. And second important thing is that it also came out to
Ziada, we can't hear you anymore. Said, we can't hear you. I'm not sure if you can hear us, as I see that Helen and Georgia are moving, so I believe it's up to his screen and connection. Maybe you can close the camera. Maybe we can close the camera for the better connection. Said, can you hear us? Oh, okay. I believe that, just a second. Yeah. I believe that Said has went out from the room, and I believe he will be back in a minute or two when he repairs his connection. So please stay with us in that time while we wait for his return. Maybe if you have any, here it is, just a second. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, my computer is hanged completely.
Yeah, no problem. It's great to have you back. We can see you and we can hear you. Welcome back.
I don't know till which point you heard me, because yeah.
Maybe Helen can help also with Georgia. I just went to try to think about to what should we do. So I just like black out a bit.
Regarding when you meet young people, so it's important that there should be a translator and a culture mediator, and also it is really important that we make them understand that this app is completely free, because in one of focus group there was a young people that asked, is it really free, this app, that it gives all this information, and also it guides you to organizations that they provide services. So it was something surprising for the young migrant. So for this reason, we should say that nobody should ask you money in order to download the app, and all the information and the services and included in this app is free. Another important thing that we should also explain to young people in order to attract their attention and ask them to use the app is that it doesn't collect any kind of data. So it is important because as I mentioned earlier, that many refugees, they have concern about policies because they do not want to be traced by authorities. So especially, when they ask asylum, so all stuff related to their story. So if they have this concern, that could become like somehow not it will not help to download the app, to use the app. So for this reason, we should somehow explain information about the privacy, that this app do not collect any kind of data. Another important thing is that as I mentioned also earlier, we need to explain them that this app is developed by a non-governmental organization. So it is really important because they do not trust authorities, especially when they arrive in first country, and when they move, they try to be more somehow invisible from authorities. So for this reason, we need to make them understand that this app is developed by an NGO who concerns only about your rights, and who just want to help you through this app. So for this reason, you can use the app without any concern, because it is not something developed by governmental authorities. So these are like some important tips that we need to take in consideration when we speak
with young people. Thank you.
Thank you, Said, for sharing this important information. I believe that it is important for the young people to know that basically it's free app to use it. And I believe that this part of not using the private data and that can be shared among other, I don't know, organization of companies, I think it's very important for their protection and for their privacy. So it's great that you have been thinking about safety and that this app is very easy to use it for the young people. Okay, so I see from Alina, it was a comment. She said it was a very interesting app. Unfortunately, I must leave for another meeting. Love to use this app. So thank you very much if you are still with us for the feedback. It's great that you have been with us. So if anybody needs, like Alina needs to leave a bit earlier, I have written in the comment that, like I said in the beginning, the recording of the webinar will be uploaded to YouTube after the session. So please, you can use it and share it also with your professional network, because I believe that it's really important for a lot of organizations and also individuals to know about it, that it exists. So thank you very much. Okay, Said, do you have any part from you that you need to share, or should we go and to our last presenter for today?
Thank you, Vesna. I think we need to leave also a space to Murtaza, that what is a young newcomer, what he thinks about this app.
Yes. So I think I was just a bit in the beginning, I was somehow muted, and I'm not sure if I said the whole sentence about Murtaza, who is, so I will just do it now. Murtaza is here with us, and he's an unaccompanied minor in Greece, and he's a developer of WorldCom social media for refugees. It's really great to have you with us here today. So you can open your, I know that you have some problems with connection, maybe just open your microphone.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, we can hear you, great.
Okay, should I open my camera or?
You can try it, so if there will be any problem with the connection, I will say to you, and then you can close the camera, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thanks for inviting me to this awesome webinar. My name is Murtaza Hassani. I'm from Afghanistan, and it's almost 3 years that I live in Greece. Also, I'm a web developer, and I built WorldCom web application. It's a platform that I built this to bring all the refugees in a specific place. Of course, out of there is a lot of groups, a lot of social media that refugees have access, but they don't know who is behind this group and who is supporting, who is answering, and which information is wrong or which information is right. Okay. By this, I built this application, and it's not still complete. It's not finished yet, and I'm working on it. Also, this is from my part. Also about the Miniila app. So I like the most the way that they designed this app. It's very simple, and it's easy to use. For example, at this time, people don't stay on a web page that load so slow or take too much time to open a web application. And because of that, this application is really fast. When you open the application, it just load in a few seconds and open the application. Also, there's a lot of information, including the food, health, and doctors. All the things that they put inside is really useful, and I really appreciate it. And the other things, also, as Miss Ellen mentioned earlier, all the things that I wanted. Okay, I just want to say one thing about the application, and this is the offline usability, because most of the refugees don't have access or don't have this ability to buy internet by themselves. If you can add the offline ability, it could be very useful also. Because as I experienced when I came in Greece, I had a phone, but there was a problem with the internet, and we had a problem with both on the saw. If at that time if I had this application, or if there was some application, for example, work offline, we can connect to the police or the some organization around the island. About this, the offline usability will help a lot. And also, yeah, that's it from my part. If there's any question, say it. I think I went so fast.
Thank you, Murtaza, for sharing your experience. I believe it's very valuable to all the professionals who work with migrant children and young people. So thank you very much. If there is any questions also from the participants, from the audience for Murtaza here, please feel free to ask question or give any comments. I see one question while we wait, so maybe just to read it, maybe Said will answer it. The question is from Maria. Hello, thanks for all the info. Is there any procedure to include a country in the list?
Yeah, so for that, it depends really on our financial resources. So this app is funded by H&M Foundation. So in starting, we have decided to make available the app in these crucial countries that are like for transit of unaccompanied minors and young newcomers. So it really depends. In fact, we were able to extend the app in Slovenia and Croatia because it is important, because they are on Balkan route. So there are like many refugees generally that they cross through Balkan route in order to arrive in North European countries. So we wanted to also have a Miniila app available in these countries, especially because there are also pushback cases, in Croatia and in Slovenia, also from Italy and also from Austria. So unfortunately, for now, we are only able, based on our financial resources, to be extended in these countries. But meanwhile, we are trying through our fundraising officer also to get more funding and resources in order to make it available even in more countries. So if we include more countries, it somehow there will be more protection for young people, and we will try to give them safety through Miniila application. And especially it will become even more successful tool if there are like more countries. We know that especially that now the situation will become a little bit normal, so there will be more number of young people that they will try to reach in Europe. So if we have more countries in the app, it is obviously more useful tool and for young newcomers.
Yes. Thank you, Said, for your answer. There is also a follow-up for the first question from Denica. I will read it. Just to follow up on the reply on my question. First of all, thanks for answering. I do recognize children and youngsters often lose trust toward authorities, but also authorities are working towards improving their information provision activities. and it is pretty unfortunate that it is a state service provider wants to participate, it would be excluded. Maybe a point to rethink. Good luck anyway, this is a great initiative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for that is important to have this feedback. Yeah, but yeah, let us see. But unfortunately, yeah, we have to take in consideration the best interest of young newcomers, and we have developed this tool. Yeah, we know that it means to exclude many services, many organizations, yeah, in different cities. Yeah.
Thank you. Also, there is from Murtaza, you can find it in the chat, the link of his own platform. So if you want to look at it and to see what's going on there, so please click on it. There is in the chat, and we can also copy it and put it under the YouTube platform, YouTube recording of this webinar. From Andreas, there is also a question: are there any promotion materials? Have you accounts in the social medias?
Yeah, that is also a very important question, and yeah, thanks for asking that. So we have we are active on social media on Facebook. So we have a Miniila app page on Facebook that yeah, I will share also in the chat. So we have developed also some materials, and we post like twice a week in different languages. So all the languages which is included in the app, but also other languages, for example, in Pashto language, in Urdu languages. We have also we did a video campaign in December 2020 till February 2021. So there were like 4 young people from Africa and from Asia, and they spoke about the app, and they were explaining the app in their own language to other young newcomers. So it was really interesting campaign, and there were like positive reactions for people. And yeah, so we and in fact the number of downloads were increased yeah, due to that campaign. One more thing, related to videos and materials, visuals, we can share yeah, with you also a link that you can have access to the folder where you can find information and visuals that you can post through your social media, and you can also have a look in Miniila Facebook page. Yeah, we one more point, in order to have more view of young people about the dissemination process, about the promotion. We held also some focus groups and also like interviews with young people. So they said that it is really important, social media, especially in this pandemic situation, and also somehow to speak about the app on TikTok. So because many young people, they use TikTok, so it would be really more effective and efficient way to disseminate Miniila application on TikTok.
Yeah, very often we use Facebook, and very often we forgot that young people are not on the Facebook, that we older people are on the Facebook. So yeah, including TikTok and other social media that are relevant for them, it's really important. Just a short question: this video campaign, can it be seen in this folder that you will be sharing with the
I will. We have all the videos there. It is in English language and also in French and Farsi languages, but they are subtitled in English, so you can use it on your social media.
Yeah, fantastic. Great. You can share the link with me after the webinar, and we will upload all of these links in the recording of this webinar. So all the participants, it will be available to all the participants.
Yeah, maybe one more specific related to dissemination. So we have also published, printed some posters and flyers. So we have sent those materials to our national coordinators. So if there is like organization maybe in Germany that they want to have these posters, they can contact our national coordinators to receive, that they then can attach the poster within their organization in some spaces that are visible to young people. Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, in the chat we have just one more comment. It's from Georgia. It's to Murtaza. Thank you for Murtaza for sharing the link to your app. I haven't opened it and looks very user friendly. I like your statement. So great feedback also for Murtaza. Okay, so we will give you a minute or two if you have any kind of final questions or comments, and also for all the presenters from today, if you have any kind of final information for the participants that you feel that you want to share, please free to open your microphone.
It's not a comment, but I just want to say thank you for all the participants for being here and listening to us. And it's been great to listen to, again, Said and Murtaza, and thank you for organizing. Really, it's more like a thank you, because it's been quite a nice event.
Yes, it was also my feeling, like it was a really important topic and really great tool and fantastic report that you shared with us, and thank you for doing such a great work. It's always a pleasure to hear what different organizations are doing on the field, and I really believe that it's our job that we are listen to it, to use this app and to promote it among our professional network. So thank you very much also to all the presenters for being with us today and for sharing information and the knowledge, and also for all the participants for being with us. Mm. And a final note, of course, if you have been before to the Child Hub webinars, you know that you can receive a certificate of attendance to the webinar. It's very easy. You just write an email. I will write it in the chat. You just write an email to this email address and give me your name and surname, and you will receive a certificate of attendance to your email address within a few days. And also, of course, I will share just a very short evaluation poll. So give us just a second to click on it. And of course, be with us, also be with the Child Hub. You can click to receive a newsletter and be in touch with all new exciting topics we will have during May and during June, and we will of course organize some more new fantastic topics during the summer also. So thank you again for being with us, and I wish you a really nice rest of the day. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye,
Thanks, everyone. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.